just a grade A sniper right now.
Tried to go backhand glove side and no chance because he made a move where he thought there was going to be a blocker over there and not a glove.
And I turned to one of my buddies and I go, you know what? This is why I would take the penalty shot over going down 2 men every time.
Why is his glove on his right hand?
I'm telling you, I bet you wasn't even looking at the keeper. He probably is just picking his spot.
Hey, you know what it is? When you win the game, that's a funny story.
Well, yeah, you aren't dare admitting that if you'd lost.
You don't tell a soul.
That changed the momentum.
Yeah.
Because then they went and got their power play goal and stupid started happening their way.
Yep. You don't tell a soul if you lose that game. But now it's just it's a funny story. And guess what? He had a hat trick.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like anybody can be like, Mitch Marner had a crappy game.
Dude, we didn't even get to those Toronto fans. Spring might have to bring it back out. The hate watching Toronto's doing in this series, because that's what I thought of when I saw Marner doing his thing the other night.
They are so
bitter, so salty
about Mitch Marner being good now. Yeah, we gotta revisit this.
You know what? We also got to figure out, is there a Denver athlete that's in that category? Because I'm trying to think, is it? Because, it's immediate. His first playoff out of Toronto, and he's like on his Conn Smythe pace.
Yeah. He is the betting favorite to win it right now.
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
Yeah. Because he's good.
Well, and Howden didn't score.
And he got a chance to get the hell out of Denver. This is what I think. The Marner thing is what I think some people thought Drew Lock was going to do in Seattle the year after they traded him, and it just, and obviously didn't go that way.
Who are the people that thought that?
Is
that Bronco Dark Web?
If it wasn't down, I'd tell you go to Twitch. But apparently Twitch and YouTube are down. I hope we're on the air. I don't even know what's working right now. We are getting reports of nickel-size hail in Arvada that was very consistent.
Nickel-size?
Hey, you don't want nickel.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't want nickel back. I don't want a nickel back. I do like a good nickel back. Chris Harris. No, he's more a slot.
Wow, that was good.
Well, sir, there's the band. There's the position.
I didn't know where that was going, and
there's
you landed that plane.
change.
Well done. That's Andy Lindahl starting year 8 strong on the Kreckman and Lindahl show. This might be your year. I think this is going to be your year on our show.
For what?
Just you're finally gonna pick it up and you're gonna bring it.
Because it hadn't been my year any other way. So let's hope this goes my way.
First official show of year 8.
I'm expecting to walk out and see the brand new truck just destroyed, just obliterated.
The Kreckman and Lindahl show.
Fit long again.
On Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Yes, Cubs come in tomorrow to start a series. Nate's happy. You want to know what you need. You know what the Cubs need? They need a little excitement in the bedroom. They need a little excitement in the bedroom to get them right, to get them thinking straight, to get them just excited about going out there and taking the field again. But if the Cubs are dealing with erectile dysfunction, excitement in the bedroom is not happening. If you're like the Cubs, you need to get over to the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and get things fixed. They can help you out. They could help out the whole roster of the Cubs if they need to as well. They've got that much stuff in stock. If ED's been causing you problems, it's time to go have a serious conversation with the folks over there at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. They have treatments that work when the pills and herbals fail, treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some treatments can have you lasting an hour or more. Maybe that'll get you off the losing streak the Cubs are on. I don't know. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, they've successfully treated tens of thousands of men, so they know what they're doing. First visit, $99. You can schedule it today right there at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. You'll talk to a Colorado licensed medical provider, have a T and a PSA test. And if you're medically advised, everything checks out, you'll have a test dose. If the test dose isn't working in the office, the visit's free and you risk nothing. They have 5 locations to serve you all up and down I-25 in Fort Collins and the Springs, and a great revamped location in Castle Rock. Call them today, 720-440-7900, or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
passing it to the crowd, by the way. Kyle Freeland, all-time franchise leader, and he acknowledges the crowd.
That's awesome.
Takes special talent and special perseverance.
Yeah, we got a record yesterday, Andy, as Kyle Freeland surpassed Aaron Cook for the most innings pitched in Rockies franchise history. Freeland exited yesterday at 1,313 and a third innings pitched. Surpassing Aaron Cook to be number one on that all-time list. He has long been the franchise leader in career starts. But last night, yesterday afternoon, officially, Kyle Freeland became the guy that has spent more time standing on the mound pitching for the Colorado Rockies than any other man in the history of this franchise. I was about to say this proud franchise. We'll just go with franchise.
Quick edit.
Yes.
Drop a quick adjective there.
Hey, every now and then it's let's go for concise. Okay. Andy, what were your emotions seeing Kyle Freeland standing on the mound, tipping the cap? How did you feel about what were the feelings that you had looking at that moment?
Man, I wish it could have been for a better team. You know what? Here's a guy that has worked out. Here's a hometown. Guy. Here's a guy.
Yeah.
Here's a song. Man, not the most. I don't know. I'm happy for Kyle Freeland. I was doing KO at the time when he was drafted. I was around a lot of people that told me this was going to happen. The competitor that he was, it was cool. He was a hometown kid.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like, there's so much good that should be there in the storyline. And yet, I think even Kyle, it's funny because I'm watching him after the game quickly doing his interview, his media availability, whatever it is they take time to show on the app. And he's just talking about how things are finally getting back kind of to a place that he wanted it to be in. And again, you know what's sad, Nate? How fitting is it that he has this nice moment, he reaches this franchise milestone, and he doesn't even get to enjoy one batter before his lead is gone in the game, and then the floodgates open and there's no shot of them even winning that thing an inning later. Like, to me, what an apropos moment, because most of his time here, he's had to be the face of, God, this sucks. I'm so frustrated. Remember last year he was in tears basically saying, we're not trying to be this bad. I'm sorry to you all that we are.
Yeah, what sucks about it is his first 2 years in the big leagues, 2017, 2018, two teams that winning clubs, wild card. 2018, he goes into Wrigley, pitches an absolute gem. He was fourth in the Cy Young that year. And there's no mistaking it. Like, you can have a hearty debate. It's almost nothing surpasses 2010 Ubaldo, and almost never will. It's going to take something special for me to say that was the greatest season in Rockies history. But like Kyle Freeland, 2018 is one of the few guys that has a case for it. Here's the problem, though, Andy, is like every other season of his career is pedestrian.
Yeah,
he's just been a perfectly cromulent major league starting pitcher most of his run here. And I looked this up, and I pulled this up on StatHead. There are 20 pitchers in franchise history that have pitched at least 500 innings. At least 500 innings in Rockies history. And this is where Kyle Freeland stands, okay? By park-adjusted ERA, which adjusts for run environment. This isn't just it's going to be inflated because of Coors Field. They adjust it to fairly compare every player in baseball. Park-adjusted ERA, he's ninth on this list of 20 pitchers with at least 500 innings in Rockies history. WHIP, walks, hits per inning pitched, ninth. Home run rate, fourth most. Walk rate, 16th, which is really good. Like, you want the lower one, obviously. Strikeout rate, 7th.
But nothing's top 5 that you're reading me right now other than, what'd you say?
Home run rate.
Home run rate.
That's it.
4th.
Yeah. And so, like, yes, the longevity is there. And longevity in the history of this franchise, I think, holds an important place because it's so damn hard to compile innings when you pitch half your games at altitude. So that is absolutely reasonable. But is Kyle Freeland, like, follow me on this? He's a top 5 pitcher in Rockies history simply because of the numbers he's compiled.
Right. Because of staying power.
Is he one of the 5 best Rockies pitchers ever? I don't think I can put him in the top 5.
No. Now, again, it's not exactly a glorious list to choose from.
I mean, it's the exact opposite of
Right.
glorious. But, like,
when you think of really good big game pitchers or fun guys to watch, Jason Jennings comes to mind.
God,
Aaron
Freeland was
Cook
that-
could be so good.
that 1 year, though.
Yeah.
And that's again, and that's where it gets back to, like, it not being his fault that he didn't always get to pitch in big games. Now, again, maybe if he had been better, there would have been more big games to pitch in, but, you know, you can only take the mound once every 5 days. We know what this franchise has been.
What does his history say about run support for him, though? And the guy leaves a 1-run game, 2-run game yesterday, and then whap, whap, whap.
Yeah.
It's all gone. Peace out.
Yeah, he's
8 straight runs scored or something like that.
There's no denying, Andy, he's been on a lot of bad Rockies teams.
Yeah.
Really
and again,
bad.
how does that affect the pitching? Because that's the whole thing. Mentally, he's going out there knowing I can't give a darn thing up
right
in this inning.
Yeah.
Or we're out of it.
Yeah. That's also
gotta
something
suck.
he's had to deal with.
Tom Glavine wasn't dealing with that.
You know, stuff-wise, he's never had elite stuff. That's never
Sure.
been Kyle Freeland's strength.
Drew said as much on the broadcast.
Yeah,
yesterday.
he's
Never an elite fastball.
It's location. It is, you know, it is being able to stay ahead of hitters. It is his ability to be able to induce weak contact. Like, that's always been, you know, where his strength has been as a pitcher. You would have never looked at, like, you know, like, when I think of, like, the great stuff in Rockies history, I think of Ubaldo Jimenez, I think of German Marquez, I think of John Gray. You know, those are the guys you go to of, like, yeah, those guys, it looks different coming out of their hands. Hell, Chase Dolander to start this season until the injury came along, like, that's what it looks like. Those are the guys, and they're not this, but, I mean, Mizorowski on Saturday, unhittable.
Showing it can be done. Now, again, that's not a guy that has to deal with it all season. That's his one start. He's out of here. But
103.7 that he touched on the gun. I mean, again, like, that's elite of the elite. Freeland has always been more of a, you know, crafty left-hander is how you would describe him. And I want his career to have been better because he is the Denver guy.
There's so much to root for.
And he has proudly worn the mantle of, I am a Colorado Rocky. I represent baseball in this state, baseball in this city. He's extremely likable. He is a great competitor. When he's on, man, he is a fun watch. And the memories of 2018 and what he was that season will live on forever. But more than anything, you look back over a career of compiling numbers on a crappy baseball team.
Yeah, but is he an ace? See, and I don't know that he was ever really the ace, right? Because that was Marquez during the good run anyway, at least ace time that matters.
Yeah, Marquez was who you wanted. But again, Freeland, he went and won that game in Chicago.
Yeah. Well,
Tony Walters was the hero.
Marquez, Freeland, Gray, right? That was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Good staff.
Man, I don't know. It sucks. I mean, good for him. You know what's funny is that he takes over Aaron Cook, who was another guy that could be a fun watch when he was on. I remember we was talking about it. I felt like he had a game that maybe started the run, and then he got hurt when it got on the heater in 2007. But I went and covered a day game of his, and it was like a 2-hour and 10-minute affair because he just kept inducing ground balls, getting contact quickly, and
when he was on,
it was just zip, 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 and he was done.
When he was on, he was good. I think I have a grudge against Aaron Cook, though, because after he was good for a minute, the organization was like, sinker ballers, that's the way to go. And it's like, no, right. Aaron Cook is effective because he is a good sinker.
Just go find 5 good pitchers, please.
Find somebody that can just induce
who just
swings
gets
and misses.
The damn job done.
How hard is it? By pitcher WAR, and this is a compiling number, Ubaldo is still number 1. Freeland is number 2. Aaron Cook 3rd, De La Rosa 4th, German Marquez 5th. What's funny about that list is Freeland, Cook, and De La Rosa, I would call all of them compilers.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't mean it as a knock against them because the mental toughness that those three dudes had to have to be able to pitch as much at Coors Field as they did was something special. But like in that top five, again, Ubaldo and prime German Marquez, those are the guys that you look at and say, that's what dominant pitching is supposed to look like.
Yeah,
And there
they're
hasn't been enough of
survivors.
it
How
here.
about instead of compilers, they're survivors?
That's another,
because it was
it's
not
fair. Yeah.
It was not always pretty, man. And sometimes,
No.
they always talked about the superpower that De La Rosa had was he did not care if he won 9-8. He only looked at W's. He was the rare pitcher that was never staring down his ERA or worried about how long his outing was. He just wanted to know, did I get the win?
The fortitude required, Andy, to know there's going to be a runner on base almost every inning.
Yeah.
You will not get to work clean at this ballpark. But you can still go and get outs. You can still, and giving up a run isn't the end of the world. It's don't give up the 3 spot. Don't give up the 5 spot that can happen at that ridiculous ballpark from time to time. But that we've watched that ballpark destroy other guys. There is something to be said for what Freeland has done and for him to have lasted as long as he has. And yet I couldn't escape the nagging feeling of watching him get to that place and just thinking, oh, man, I wish you could have been better.
Boy, I'll be honest with you. I thought, man, I kind of hope he gets traded so he can play some high leverage ball.
That too.
That sucks.
It does.
I don't want him to. I'd love him to be a lifer Rocky. I don't think any pitcher deserves to be a lifer Rocky right now.
Yeah, I can't even go there. I don't want anybody to be a lifer Rocky. That's a miserable way
till this thing turns around
to live your existence. I am rooting for Antonio Senzatella to find a new club at the deadline this year, which he absolutely has to. And
half this team needs to get shipped out if you're serious about the rebuild.
You
need
so.
some deep prospects in that system.
By the way, by park-adjusted ERA, this is of pitchers that have pitched at least 500 innings in a Rockies uniform. 20 of them have. Andy, take a wild stab at number 20 on the list. Hint of very recent Rockies vintage. Very recent.
Gomber?
It was Austin Gomber.
Shut up!
It was Austin Gomber.
I was trying to find the most ridiculous name I could come up with.
And you got it. And you got it, my friend. Austin Gomber. Nobody has pitched that long and been that bad in a Rockies uniform as Austin Gomber. Crown jewel of the Nolan Arenado trade, everybody. It's the Kreckman and Lindahl Show. We got Jeff Legwold coming up to preview OTAs after this. Hey, it's Nate Kreckman for my friends over at Roller Auction. Make sure you sign up to bid right now at roller.bid/altitude. That gets you on the email list, and that gets all of the emails sent to you. So they let you know when the new auctions are opening up. And this is a great way to get on top of it and get yourself some great stuff. Open right now. In fact, open for about 3 more days. Outdoor living appliances, home goods, and general merchandise auction. Guys, if you're looking for grills, appliances, washing machines, you can get some great stuff in there. I'm looking through some of the patio goods. Oh, man, a commercial folding picnic table right now. Current bid, $70. Get yourself an outdoor picnic table. That's going to change your life. Dine al fresco nightly. And, oh, by the way, whip up dinner on some of the great grills that they have available for you to be able to bid as well. Go to roller.bid. Check out this outdoor living auction that's going on right now. Great prices available. Hook yourself up. Live outdoors in style. Make sure you sign up to bid at roller.bid/altitude. Jeff, let's start with Jonathan Cooper. He was in court earlier Monday morning, Douglas County courtroom. What's all the latest on what's going on with Jonathan Cooper and his weekend misadventures?
Well, I mean, just the mostly a procedural, next step, a plea hearing, pled not guilty, as you would expect. And then basically they search the docket for dates the judge thinks will work for the next stages. There'll be some kind of motions hearing soon, where if attorneys for either side have some things they want to present that the judge should consider, or to get removed or put in, whatever it is, and then a trial date in late July. Cooper's legal team asked for a trial date as quickly as possible because of training camp, and the judge's first open date was just before training camp's going to open. So if it's a 1 or 2 day trial, if it goes to trial, then that's when it would happen.
Jeff, this was a situation, and there were multiple charges brought against multiple parties in all of this. In such a situation, is this thing sure to get to that trial in July, or could charges still be dropped?
Yeah, I think all around, it is, it's obviously getting notoriety because of who he is.
Sure.
But in the legal picture, it's a domestic confrontation with two very differing stories, and I'm sure each person involved is going to have a different approach maybe to how all this goes. But yeah, I mean, it's always possible something like this doesn't go to trial if it didn't include a notable person. A lot of times, it's been decades, but when I was on the police beat in Chicago long ago, these were the types of things that didn't see a jury trial, as it were. But I can't say how this one will go.
All right, Jeff, week 2 of the off-season program, OTAs, whatever you want to call it. What are we expecting from this week? What possibly would you go out there and watch building off of last week's momentum?
Well, Andy, I watch everything.
I know
he
you
does.
do. I know.
Do you know for a minute, by the way,
you're watching what people don't know you're watching.
On Thursday, I was standing in front of Jeff Legwold.
Nice.
And I felt terrible about that, mostly because I need Jeff to come on my show and tell me everything that happened. So I can't be blocking him, and then I don't know what's going on, and then our listeners don't know what's going on. It was extremely rude to me, and I apologize.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you right now, you can have a high opinion of yourself. If Legwold doesn't want to be blocked, he won't be blocked. The fact that you were in the way meant he allowed you to be in the way.
That's a good point, because when I turned to Jeff and I was like, "Sorry, Jeff, I'm in your way," he was just like, "I didn't even notice. It's fine."
It means he was up to something, is what that means.
I deferred kindly.
He did.
I deferred the prime real estate very kindly because I had my angles covered. I was all good.
He was good to go. He didn't need to see whatever crap I was looking at. I promise you that.
It is interesting though that a lot of teams sort of go an incremental, one OTA, then they ramp up slightly for the next OTA set, and then a little more for mini camp. Sean Payton has gone out of his way to sort of say all three are going to look the same, roughly, just with time spent in meetings and time spent on the field can be slightly more during the mini camp next week. So I think that's a factor of how he constructs the offseason as a whole. They stay in the phase 1 in the CBA. Phase 1 is listed as conditioning only, and they stay in that longer than any other team. There are some teams that have already, I think 2 teams have already done their mini camp, including the Steelers, I believe. But he likes this construction of the off season. So honestly, I think the 2 sets of OTAs in the mini camp will look very similar because that's the way he likes it.
Yeah, to that point, Jeff, and that's how he's handled the conditioning side of things. We have certainly seen that. Given that he has a team that played in the AFC Championship, so they played deeper than almost everybody else, and then, oh, by the way, there's almost no roster turnover on this team. How has all of that informed his approach in terms of the football preparation, install, and everything else, not just the conditioning side of things?
I don't think they feel very compelled to do a whole lot of, furious install right now. I think
Right.
they are more getting the young guys up to speed so they can practice the way they want to practice. Uh, I can say this will be my 40th full season doing this as a beat writer. I have
Well
not
done.
in
Well
the
done.
free agent, even though it includes, this really dates me before free agency. This is like a team that would come to camp before free agency.
Yeah.
This is how it looked back in the day, and so it's intriguing to me. I've never seen this in any team I've covered in the free agency era. So I am intrigued to see how it all plays out because it was a very concerted effort and it's very rare. And when you look at them in the big picture, it's kind of, they're positioned better than most other teams. I mean, they're 31st in dead money. Only the Seahawks have less. So you're talking two of the final four teams from last year are near the bottom in terms of least dead money. And they have salary cap space. So, and oh yeah, they have a mountain of cash no one else has. So life is pretty good on the part of the team. We don't really talk, the financial side that's behind the scenes, and there's a, gleaming palace that's going to be open by the time they all come back for training camp. So it is an interesting place where they've put themselves. And if they're healthy, I know Vegas doesn't agree, but if they're healthy, I'll be interested to see how all this plays out when September rolls around.
All right, Jeff, Myles Garrett, he gets traded last week. It feels like Rams are back into, we won't worry about the future when the future arrives. We're going to build for this right now. And you mentioned Vegas right there in the odds. I know, I think I heard Dan Tanner saying that all of a sudden in a lot of places that the Rams have leapfrogged everybody to be the favorite. How do you break this out as far as the top 5 or 6 contenders? You and I, how about I put it this way to give you better of a map of what I'm looking for here? You used to tell me all the time when we were talking Broncos, when Manning was here, you got one of the 4 guys, therefore you're always going to be in one of those final 4 conversations. With all the stuff that's gone on in the offseason, L'Jarius Sneed signs a 1-year deal to stay at the Chiefs this week and all that, where do you think the Broncos are? Because Vegas, what has Vegas pushed them down 6 or 7, something like that? Where do you think the Broncos are as far
like
as
20-1 to win the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah.
They're not high at all.
Well, and I think the Knicks component for the betting world can't be underestimated. I mean, that's just, I think already, he would not be, because he's young, and in that developmental part of his career, where does he fit on the tier of quarterbacks? The Broncos love him, and but I'm not sure, that level of love would translate to bettors or fans of other teams. I think the Broncos are sort of that body of work team, really good defense, a coach highly respected, and they've won 24 games in the last 2 years, so that puts you in a different tier from most teams. But I'm not sure the Rams Garrett going to the Rams impacts sort of the whole pecking order. I think people thought highly of the Rams before they even made that deal. So I think the Broncos around the league, when I talk to people, have the sort of same status. And it's the things we've all talked about. They're a team constructed. They got to stay healthy. Waddle's going to have to be really good. And the defense is going to have to be on a level near of the last 2 years. And then I think they're in the conversation.
What do you think is the next step that Sean is looking for from Bo Nix, and how does the offseason injury impact his ability to get there?
Well, I mean, any lower body injury is your throwing platform.
Yeah.
And what's the big thing they've tried to address in both play call and personnel is, start with 20 yards plus down the field. It's been a disaster. He 38% completion rate. And, I always say if you're a high volume passing team and you're low efficiency, that's a bad combo.
Yeah.
And the Broncos, Knicks led the league in attempts, and the Broncos were third in the league in pass attempts of 20 yards or more, and they were only completing 38% of those. So you're high volume, low efficiency. And I don't think they will really challenge defenses and get the kind of looks they want in the run game until that's repaired. You have to force defenses you have to punish them for their decisions against you. And the last 2 years, the Broncos have not punished defenses enough for the decisions they've made. They've been carried by their own defense, keeping them around in games so Bo could be really good at what he's best at early in his career, and that's those late moment, fourth quarter drives when the menu gets shorter and he can work at the pace he wants to work at.
Is the hope that and Jeff, the hope is that Bo Nix becomes better at completing intermediate throws, obviously. Is it possible that Jalen Waddle can be a little bit of a workaround for that the Broncos can still find those kind of chunks of yardage without necessarily being able to complete those kind of throws just because of Waddle's catch and run threat?
What he gives them, what they don't have is, and I was talking about this with Andy the other day, is what he gives them is he wins on the release.
Yeah.
And they have guys that win on the release, but as the play develops, the defender makes up ground on the current Broncos. When Sutton wins on the release, or Pat Bryant wins on the release, or Evan Ingram wins on the release, they win. But if the ball's not out right then, the defender closes ground. Waddle wins on the release, and he maintains the margin of victory longer in the play. So that gives you an option or the opportunity to create something. And they've been hoping Troy Franklin could be that, but he's been much better down the field than he has in the intermediate zone. And some of that is just because you got to be physical and feisty in there, and Waddle is those things. And that's what he gives them. You only have to watch like 2 routes at OTAs last week to see he's going to win on the release virtually against anyone. But it's that he maintains that, margin of victory, as it were, to get the play.
All right, Jeff. See, that's interesting because what one position could benefit then the most? Obviously, the receivers. There's an answer I'm trying to get out of him. I feel like a prosecutor right now. Will Waddle open up Evan Ingram?
He should. I mean, he's gonna dig a defender out somewhere. You're gonna have to help. If he is everything they hope he is, and there's no reason to think he's not. I think he had the big drop in production in Miami because of other things in the offense. Yeah. I don't think suddenly he was 40 receptions worse, than he was. I think they had other issues going, but he forces everything to be different. You can't look how teams down the stretch the last 4 games, including the playoffs. Look how they play Sutton. I mean, he's just getting all the help all the time, and when Ingram wins in the middle of the field, they can run him down before the ball's out. So all those things are benefited if a guy can create space somewhere, force issues, force response. And if you're an offense that can force a response that you can predict, that's the best thing for an offense. If you can say, we do this, they're going to do that, then suddenly you've got a lot more things that work that you didn't have before.
Jeff, you've covered this league a long time, as you said, going into year 40 here now. I have been around a long time as well. Never have I heard 3 hosts and a beat writer laud the exploits of a punter. But aside from you and Nate Kreckman, Vic Lombardi had to jump on that thing too. What should I read into the Crawshaw missiles that are being launched? Because we don't really want to see a lot of those, Jeff. I mean,
no, he launched them last year. It's just you just didn't know when the very non-missile was going to show up.
It did from time to time, yes.
Yeah.
the scud.
Yeah, or the Christmas lights shot is the roof shot, as Sean would call it. But just a consistency factor is what you're looking for in a punter. I still do. I was taught scouting the old way, by many, including my man the late C.O. Mercado. But I do sometimes still with kickers and punters do the look away, because a sound is worthy of paying attention to. And when he hits it right, that's not many guys can create that kind of impact, And again, we're talking about a punter, and I know that's not rocking the confetti cannons or anything, but when he does get a hold of one, it is a BP shot that's worthy of watching.
Jeff, I said to a friend of ours, this is the second most impressive punting display I've ever seen out here, trailing only roided up Todd Sauerbrunn. That was how good Crawshaw looked the other day.
I tell you, my benchmark for pure sound and fury of a kicker is Mason Crosby at the Senior Bowl. I really thought he was going to dent the bleachers, and I'm not exaggerating.
Hell yeah.
Because it was, you could look down and you just knew. It was unbelievable. But yeah, that's always my pinnacle benchmark for the sound and fury when I'm doing the audio scouting. But no, he was thumping him.
He was
pretty
cranking
good the
him.
other
Yeah,
day.
it was pretty good to watch. Yeah, it was some Giancarlo Stanton crack of the bat kind of stuff that we were getting. And by the way, and I mean, he was pinning him on the sidelines too. It wasn't just what he was doing in terms of hang time and everything else. It was a really impressive display. He could be an All-Pro this year, Jeff. He really looks like he could play the part in that.
No, this is, I know we're talking about a punter, and people are like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Well, they drafted him. He was drafted.
But no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. In the developmental world, this is how it works.
Yeah.
When it's working and your scouts are working, you get Nick Bonito out of a 1.5 snap in a sack year in his rookie year. You get this young guy who look, I watched his tape in college, and it was, he was hitting 300 at best, maybe, with quality shots. But when you saw the quality ones, the ability to project that forward is what scouting is. And if he really is this spot in his development after, just over a year in the NFL, that's pretty good developmental curve.
Well,
stuff.
And guys, tack on to this part of the conversation. And again, I know we're talking about a punter, but this Broncos team in 2026, Jalen Waddle, no Jalen Waddle, this is not going to turn into a 33-point-a-game offense or anything else like that. This team is going to win defensively, and they're going to win by playing good field position football and winning on the margins. I think it's going to look very similar to how it did last year. And a punter like that is only the perfect complement to one of the best defenses in football.
Yeah.
This is the winning stuff they're building.
And, with a little bit on the I got news for you card is I think they finished, 27th and 28th in 3 and outs the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they've
been
at the bottom of the league in 3 and out drives.
I think he was second in the league in total punts last year.
I'm just saying they've been down at the bottom of the league, down with the 3-win teams. They are the anomaly in both of those seasons. But if they can't get out of that neighborhood, he's going to have to be really good.
All right, Moneybags, Legwold. Anything you spending $1,000 to go see? We were talking about it earlier. Any event, any concert?
You dropping $1,000 to go watch the U.S. men's national team on Friday night, Jeff?
Is that something that floats the Legwold boat with all that ESPN money coming in left and right?
Yeah, my kids would tell you, oh, my God. I can't even, you should have my kids on and ask them that. What would your dad spend $1,000 for? That'd be a very.
They would say he still hasn't.
Well, other than their college diploma,
pretty much.
I think
That's it.
Zero.
You'd have a few things to fire back.
That's it. Leggy, man, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you later this week.
Thanks, fellas. We'll see you.
All right, the great Jeff Legwold of ESPN with us here, getting set for another week of Bronco OTAs. It is the Kreckman and Lindahl Show. We got the High Five coming up at 5 o'clock. 5 biggest stories of the day from around the NFL and the world beyond. But we'll take a quick time out. And when we come back, this Broncos team, Andy, where can they surprise you in 2026? I have one based on something I saw on Thursday that I think stands out a little bit. I'll tell you what that is after this.
Guys, Andy Lindahl here for Wahoo's Fish Taco. Now, again, they've got 4 great locations throughout Colorado in the metro area anyway to serve you. Thursdays, kids eat free. So get on in there on a Thursday. There's one in Highlands Ranch. I'm always over. You know, Leggy and I are always talking about lunch. You know where we're at? We're at Wahoo's Fish Taco. So if you're going there on the right day, you may run into us. And I love the one in Highlands Ranch. I love the one near Park Meadows. Those are the 2 that we mainly go to right now. But they're great locations. And again, Thursdays, make plans now. Kids eat free, and you can enjoy it. You can have maybe a little special adult beverage on the side while you do that. You want something great to eat? For me, there's a lot of go-tos. This menu is very varied. I love their blackened fish. I love their blackened chicken. I love the queso. You want to talk enchiladas. You want to talk their green salsa is great. Their queso is very, very good. I think a unique flavor. It's just a great place to be. And a great patio right over here. Matter of fact, there's a great patio off the Highlands Ranch location, but the one at Park Meadows, just phenomenal. It's Wahoo's Fish Taco. Get on in there, see them. They've got daily specials going on. They've got a great happy hour. It's not just a lunch spot. Get in there for dinner. Get in there and get some happy hour for you. It's Wahoo's Fish Taco.
All right, good stuff right there with Jeff Legwold. We are looking for a Broncos team to be more dangerous offensively. But also, this is a Broncos team that doesn't have a ton of turnover on the offensive side of the football. Bo Nix going into year number 3. We know the strengths. We know the limitations. And we're hoping that Jalen Waddle can fix a lot of this stuff. But where do you look to be surprised by this Broncos offense this upcoming season? And Andy, one guy in particular that I watched on the practice field on Thursday, I think can have a very big season for this offense. Jalen Waddle's going to be the headliner, right? Like, put him on top of the marquee. He's the one that is coming in here to be explosive. We know what Courtland Sutton is and how devastating he can be. But also we know Davis Webb isn't going to turn this into a 13-personnel team. The Broncos are going to be running a ton of 11, and they're going to be doing it with 3 wide receivers on the field. And the guy that I think is going to take the biggest step forward this upcoming season is Pat Bryant.
All right.
I think Pat Bryant is ready to have himself a very big season. I think big number 13, I think he is going to make a lot of plays in this offense with a lot of opposing secondaries paying a lot of attention to Jalen Waddle and Courtland Sutton. And I think that's going to open up a lot of things underneath. Some nice, easy pitch and catch completions for Pat Bryant. I think he's very good at making those tough kind of catches. He's an outstanding blocker, so Sean Payton and Davis Webb will trust to have him on the field. Coming off a rookie season of 49 targets and 31 total catches out of Pat Bryant, and if he's healthy for 16, 17, I think this can be a 60-catch player this season. And I think he can be a critical part of moving the chains, making first down catches, making tough contested catches, and keeping this offense on the field so they have fewer of those 3-and-outs that Legwold talked about right there. But I think Pat Bryant could be the real beneficiary of the kind of weapons that they have on the outside.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to see, and this may hit some people wrong when I say this. The Broncos need a Nick Bonito story arc, development arc kind of guy on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I like that.
And now look, Bo Nix has been very good for 2 years. There are the whispers. There is the thought that Bo Nix came in a lot more ready than everybody else, but they don't know how much higher the ceiling will go.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to
player, but a lower ceiling.
I'm not going to try to put all pro and one of the top in the game on Bo Nix right now, you know? Therefore, I'd like to see you coach a guy into something like you did Nick Bonito on the offensive side of the ball. I think in a perfect world, we'd love to see you do that with a Caleb Lohner or one of the tight ends. But right now,
RJ Harvey.
I think RJ Harvey'd be nice too. But again, you go and you immediately go draft another running back again in Jonah Coleman. Again, what's going on with RJ Harvey when you bring back J.K. Dobbins? Had Dobbins departed and you had Coleman and Harvey. All right, well, there you go. So to me, I think Pat Bryant is the candidate for what we're talking about there, for what you're talking about, because he does fit the profile of win quick, get open fast. So it was interesting. I'll go in a little more in depth since Jeff kind of hinted at it. Because I had said, I've talked to a few people before Jeff about, Evan Ingram last year wasn't as involved because he was getting open, but the ball didn't go his way. So what did that mean? Did it mean Bo missed him? Bo didn't throw it accurately? Evan dropped it when he got it? There was a little bit of that, but what was happening, as Jeff explained it to me, is sometimes in the progression, Bo wouldn't see him when he was open, and then by the time he was in the progression, by the time the check went to him, what Jeff was talking about there is once Jalen Waddle gets 5 yards on you, he's keeping 5 yards on you. Once Evan Ingram wins, if he's not the first look, part of the problem last year was because of his age, they couldn't get him the ball because the guy had already got back into coverage. Pat Bryant has to show that's not a thing, because there were times last year where you and I saw he would win. Now, this is mainly on the deep routes. He would win, but the corner could reel him back in with speed because he does not have elite speed. But if he can win and keep a good 3-yard cushion for the comfort of Bo to throw him the ball, he could really be big.
Bryant last season averaged 12.2 yards per reception. That's pretty good on 31 catches.
For a rookie?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
That's pretty good I'm even okay with that number going down a little bit, even on a higher volume of targets and thus a higher volume of catches.
If he could stay around the 10-yard mark, 9 to 10 yards, and
Yeah.
you're a first down winner, you're a move the chains guy,
Possession guy.
that is perfect complement to what I think Waddle and Sutton will bring.
Yeah, because and again, it is that thing of like those guys are going to attract so much attention. How many plays are there going to be where hopefully, and with the help of Davis Webb, Bo Nix is standing at the line of scrimmage earlier on a pre-snap read, he's going to look up and he's going to say, I know there's a one-on-one right there, and I can even see where there's outside leverage. And so if there's an in-breaking route right now out of Pat Bryant, boom, there's 7 free yards. There's maybe 7 yards on a catch and a broken tackle, and 12 yards and 15 yards or whatever it may be, bigger chunks of action. But Pat Bryant's a guy that I'm kind of circling right now, and I'm saying, okay, I think he is a critical part of this offense this year. It's weird because, like, if we were having, like, a fantasy football debate, it would be like, who's the Broncos' number 3? I don't think there's going to be a clear delineation of number 3. I think it's going to flat out come down to roles. I just think Bryant can fill the role that's going to be assigned to him really well.
And the role that's out there, and I'd love to see a Mims take it, a Franklin take it, somebody take it, a back take it, R.J. Harvey, whatever. They're going to have to spend – they spent so much time taking away Cortland Sutton last year. Nobody consistently stepped up to be the guy to make you pay for that.
Right.
So now the defense at least has 2 people in Waddle and Sutton to worry about. Who will be – there needs to be the guy that makes you pay if you pay too much attention to only 2 players in the offense.
We get the high five coming up after this. We've got NFL stories. We've got a college football story that must be addressed, as well as some NBA news coming up next after this. 5 biggest stories of the day from around the NFL, college football, and we got basketball stuff in there as well. Let's go. Mark Springer.
If you're wondering what's for dinner tonight, you need to try Papa Murphy's Pizza. They make delicious pizza. You bake it when you're ready. Order online at papamurphys.com. Got some Broncos news. Tight end Caleb Loner will miss the rest of the off-season program after a cleanup surgery. The body part is specified only as lower body.
What is this, a hockey injury? What's happening here?
I don't know. Why is everybody getting a cleanup deal too, dude?
They're all cleaning up, apparently. Caleb Loner. It's too bad, Andy. This guy needs the offseason program. Like, he needs football work. He's still learning how to be a football player, let alone a pro football player. So maybe buying the stock on Caleb Loner, let's back off on that a little bit and get really excited about Jolie and Bentley and Ingram and Troutman and some of the other tight ends that are on this team.
I'm telling you, there's a few people I've talked to that said Jolie.
That's the dude?
Better hope.
Yeah.
Better if you need a surprise of the draft class, that could be the guy. So,
were these the same people that were hyping Dulcich to you?
No.
Okay. All right. Was that something you did on your own?
I just very much would love to root for a pass-catching tight end again, quite honestly.
Whose fault was all that? Go ahead, Spring.
Yeah.
High five.
Cornerback Legarius Sneed is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was drafted by the Chiefs in 2020, and he most recently played 2 seasons with the Titans.
Okay, so Legarius Sneed is back in Kansas City. I mean, they need warm bodies to go play cornerback on that defense. I suppose Legarius Sneed can go and do that. How much does he still have left in the tank, Andy?
No idea.
Yeah.
I did not watch a lot of Titan football last year. Do you remember him doing much against the Broncos in the opening game?
I think that's the only Titans game I watched last year.
For good reason. What the hell else would you watch it for?
Yeah, not much. No, they were pretty much always on Sunday at 11 a.m. on Red Zone during other games that I cared more about. Yeah, it turns out when you're playing in the AFC South, I don't really know what you're up to all that
and you
much.
Stunk as bad as they have.
Yeah, but he's overcome injuries. He's back in Kansas City. They desperately need warm bodies to play that position, so best of luck to the Chiefs. Go ahead, Spring.
High five.
Hey, Donald Trump is set to be the first sitting U.S. president to attend an NBA Finals game. As I leave the NFL music up, I just forgot about that.
That's okay.
Bringing strict security measures that will require Knicks fans to navigate an extensive safety perimeter around
You got to
MSG.
get there 2 hours early if you want to get into the Garden tonight.
And it looks like the lines are long right now.
Yeah, some of the pictures coming out on social media. Also, no outdoor party outside the Garden because Trump is going to be in the house tonight. Isn't
it? I've experienced this when I've been caught in traffic when other presidents visit here.
Uh-huh.
Does a presidential visit to your state ever make life easy for you? I mean,
no, it screws
because
everybody.
They block streets. You know, the traffic gets shut down. Wherever they're going, it gets shut down.
Yeah.
It just, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. So Trump's showing up. It's making it so there's like a giant wall around the Garden. And, the Knicks run that is supposed to be for the people. It just turns out it's only going to be a bigger pain in the ass for the people. Go ahead, Spring.
And championship games are not easy to get into to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you at the Super Bowl, I got more free health care going into the Super Bowl than I get from my own doctor at a physical sometimes.
Oklahoma City Thunder general manager Sam Presti supported center Chet Holmgren today. He said that Chet is one of their guys. And he hinted that Chet's not going to get traded. Jalen Williams isn't going to get traded. They're going to stick with that core. Sam Presti talked about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the criticism he faces from fans. Here is Sam
falls a lot.
Presti.
Relative to Shai.
What?
And
Sean
the
Payton?
narrative on that, he's playing against 6 people. He's got 5 defenders, and the 6th defender is social media. And, that's a reality. And he's not going to be the last player that the machine decides to target. But no one's going to handle this gracefully. Because when they turn it on somebody else,
tell them to stop falling. How about that? Okay,
Yeah.
Just stop falling. Okay, I don't get mad about the push-offs. I really don't. Okay, because they're letting him have that call, And good on him for being able to make that play, okay? And that, I think, is something that the officials should have a conversation about in the offseason. It was interesting. I heard Gary Payton talking about this on Zach Lowe's podcast the other day. And Andy, Gary Payton is arguably the best perimeter defender, like one-on-one perimeter defender of our lifetime. And even he had to say of just like, look, I came from the hand-checking area. We used to maul guys. I still wouldn't have been able to do anything about that. If an offensive player is allowed to extend an arm to gain space, there was nothing I could have done about it. So that's a bigger rules conversation that is going on right there. When it comes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just stop falling. Stop falling, okay? And I do think, like, the criticism will go away and the talents of a generational player will be more greatly appreciated. But then here's the counter argument, and this is where I'll argue with myself. It works. He gets whistles.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't he do it? Why shouldn't he continue to do that?
It's funny because with the fans, I'm not sure they're even mad as I'm sure plenty are mad at SGA. If you just don't like him, you don't like him. My thing is what you're giving him is just let other people have if they can pull it off. Like to your point.
Which we went over
which is
the
more
amount
about
of falls and he gets more calls.
Well, but I'm even talking with that push off.
Yeah.
Because Jamal would throw a couple. If you give it to everybody, then I think people gripe less because your guy's getting it too. And I think it's more about the officiating than it is about necessarily SGA. But
it's a lot about SGA. Too.
Well, because he's the face of it right now. Yeah. Listen, in future news, Sam Presti is going to be having possibly a Nugget-style press conference when it comes to we need to get out of the aprons, and Chet Holmgren is available. He's no longer our guy.
Yeah.
He could be your guy next year when that extension kicks in, but I'll be curious to see how long they can really ride this core. Nate,
it's, you got to hope Jalen Williams is going to be healthy. This is the thing I'll say about Chet, and I know he got his ass kicked about Wemby.
Can't teach tall.
He's probably still the second best defender in the NBA. You don't let that guy go anywhere, and you just look at it and say, okay, young player, you've got to learn, come back, get stronger. That's a part of the process.
Here's what I'm fascinated to watch with Oklahoma City. A lot of money paid in the luxury tax, the aprons, the whole thing. They've got so many draft picks to try to pick guys that can replace, unlike, say, the Nuggets.
Yeah.
How many first-rounders and prime first-rounders do they own from savvy trades like the Paul, help me out. The one they said Paul George trade. Because that was the Clipper pick they were going to control this year. Do they control it anyway? Remember when we were worried about that thing being a top 10 pick?
They have 13 and 17, I believe, or 12 and 17 in this draft, if I'm remembering correctly. Those are the two first-rounders that they have, which, interestingly enough, right now, like, they may not want to make those picks simply because they would have to pay one of them a first-round rate, and that could mess with their cap structure. They got to move Lou Dort, obviously, this year. I think they'll bring back Caruso. It'll still largely be the same core, and they're a contender, man.
But they've got the actual assets to keep it built up if they want to move a guy or two.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other teams do not.
Yep. And they can get out of salary if they need to because, again, they can attach those assets. And we're over here in Denver with almost no assets. Go ahead, Spring.
High five.
Hey, we have some college football news.
Sure do.
College football!
I'll read this from ESPN.com. A judge's decision to rule Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby eligible today roiled college sports with reactions ranging from doomsday predictions to informal chatter about Big 12 schools attempting to not play Texas Tech this season. The reaction around college sports was nearly unanimous with the idea of Sorsby playing in 2026 after admitting to thousands of bets on sports, including 40 on his own team, representing the latest crossroads for an industry that has faced a dizzying number of them in recent years.
I wish any of these Big 12 ADs and schools had the guts to not say they weren't going to play Texas Tech. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. This story is so disgusting. This is horrendous that this is happening right now in college football, that Brendan Sorsby is going to be allowed to play. Look, Andy, this is a new world in sports. This is a new world in college sports, okay? And we should all be well past the point of complaining about NIL, about players getting paid, about player movement, all of that. Those are essentially becoming boomer arguments because that's just what college athletics has been for a few years now. This is the reality of it. But when you look at a dude that bet $90,000 on his own sport, including 40 wagers on his own team, okay? The kind of admission that should be having him banned for life from ever playing college football ever again. And then a judge in Lubbock, we should add, said, nah, that's not nice to a gambling addict. Look, I'm glad you want to get the kid help. Okay, I'm glad you want to help him reform and move on with his life. There's a lot of different ways he can do that besides playing college football, which he should not get to do anymore.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the smartest guy. Would this not be considered insider trading in the business world? Don't you go to jail for that?
You should.
How are you not allowed? I don't understand. And then we had the tweet earlier. I think Mark sent it over. One of you sent it over saying, this is the only organization in sports that can't ban people for betting on its own games. That's how powerless the NCAA has become.
2-game suspension. 2-game suspension, according to the ruling that came down today. The NCAA is going to appeal this. I have no confidence in the American legal system that they're going to come around on this thing. Andy, listen to some of this, okay? Former Iowa defensive tackle Noah Shannon, this is from Stuart Mandel's piece on The Athletic, saw his college career ended because he plays one legal bet on his school's women's basketball team, believed to be for less than $100. Sorsby placed at least 40 bets on Indiana football while still underage and approximately $90,000 in sports wagers using other people's sports book accounts. He will be back in time for the Red Raiders' Big 12 opener against Houston. Okay, so it's gross enough on the player's perspective of all of this. What about Texas Tech? How shameless are you that this is the guy you want representing your proud university? Listen to this, again from Stuart Mandel's piece. In a May 26 open letter, university president Lawrence Chovanec had the audacity to argue, quote, the NCAA bylaws governing Brendan's case have not adapted to the era of widespread legalized sports betting, close quote. Just months after his own school voted to overturn an NCAA policy change that would have allowed athletes to bet on pro sports. So you have a problem with college athletes betting, except not when it's your guy. Then it's not fair, and now they're not being nice to him because there's legalized sports betting.
Yeah.
I don't care that there's legalized sports betting. I'm glad that there's legalized sports betting. I'm glad that college football is making money off of legalized sports betting. That doesn't change the part where, I'm sorry, but a part of the privilege of being to be a college football player and make the money to be a college football player is you're not allowed to be able to do it.
You don't get a double up, make more money by betting on your guys.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point is anybody allowed to bet on? Anybody associated with a league is not allowed to bet on their guys.
You're not allowed to.
Or the league.
Or the league. And this
I know a lot of people like to come to me for some hot mammoth props, and I'd love to just jump on a book, and believe me, there are some of those. But no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed if you're in any way associated with it. I don't understand where we found the loophole for this one, frankly. The kid bet on his own team.
He bet on his own team. You're going to let him continue to play.
Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame right now if you're changing all this. Put him in right now. If that's going to be your reason for holding him out. This is unreal.
You're a pro sports league. The kid can't. Don't let him play. Don't let him play. I'm sorry it's not nice. I'm sorry he's an addict. Okay? And it's not nice, but he doesn't get to play. Okay? Again, many other ways.
I'm saying it's not nice. You're killing me, Smalls. It's not nice.
That's essentially, Andy, what they ruled today.
I know.
That's essentially what they ruled, of just like, well, he needs the structure of college football in order to be able to recover from his gambling addiction. No, he doesn't.
I wonder if the casinos think that it's not nice that he had inside information when he placed those bets that probably won him some money. That's not nice either. Are we all not playing nice now? Can we all just play nice?
What the hell kind of world are we in, by the way, where there's finally a story where everybody is on the NCAA's side?
I know. What has happened? End of times are near. Biblical hail. The NCAA is right on something.
We hope.
And coming up at 5:45, I got to show this to Nate. We may have to tell you about Tom Brady's new product.
He's got a new product? TB12?
We've got to make sure this is true. I can't believe this is true.
Okay.
I can believe what the product is. I cannot believe the name of the product and the slogan.
Okay, I can't wait to get to that. That's coming up at 5:45. Also, do the Spurs have any chance to climb back into this series? We'll hit on that next.
Andy Lindahl for my friends over at Southern Steer Butcher. You know what I had for lunch today? Wings from Southern Steer Butcher. Some of their great beer can wings. Now, look, you go in there to Southern Steer Butcher, and it's real easy to find them. They're on Arapahoe Road in Dayton. They're right across from Faye Myers and the Shane Company. You know those businesses? They're right on the other side of the street there in the strip mall right at the corner. Go and find them. It's 2 streets east of I-25 on Arapahoe Road. And this is where you go. I've had friends hit me up over the last couple weeks loving the tri-tip steak tips. They cut them up into little pieces. They infuse them with great flavor. I love the teriyaki. I love the steakhouse. They also have the Argentine. They're really, really good flavors. I had some beer can chicken wings. They've also got that in the breast. I'm going to be trying the Kickin' Margarita chicken breast as well. My family loves the house-flavored ones. Great flavors in the meat, or you can just get it raw if you need it that way as well. Great place to find Wagyu beef. Great place to get some picanha if you're looking for that cut of beef. You can also get some great they've got the tri-tip. They've got all the steaks you could want. They've got house-made sausages and bratwurst and great size. We love the smashed taters at my place. And if you go in there daily, like today, they've got daily specials. I believe it's 25% off their sides. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I believe it's 25% off the tri-tip. So you can save a lot of money, too, with the daily specials. It's Southern Steer, the place to go get your protein. You're going to love it. Find them on the web at southernsteer.com, the Greenwood Village location.
Game 3 NBA Final, 6:30 tonight. Wemby and the Spurs, backs against the wall, down 0-2. I mean, Andy, Wemby had about the worst 30 seconds a basketball player can have at the end of Game 2. Misses a shot to take the lead. Then throws an outlet pass off the back of Stephon Castle. Jalen Brunson steals it. Wemby makes it worse by running up and then body checking Brunson into the bench. Brunson makes the game-winning free throw, and then Wemby misses a 20-footer to win the game at the other end. So you got to hear the call of the French broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the French call of the turnover. Their national hero, their beloved son, Victor Wembanyama, coughing up the game in San Antonio in Game 2 on Friday night. You will hear, even if you don't speak French, and I definitely don't, you will hear when the turnover takes place. Roll it, Spring.
Brunson, attention, face à Victor Wembanyama, il va se lever à 2 points.
Bonne défense de Victor.
Oh, il va rester 13 secondes.
Il n'a pas vu.
Stéphane Castle.
Ils ont la balle, non?
Et non, et non, et non.
Il y a faute.
Eh oui, il y a faute.
Il y a faute de Victor.
Oui, il y a faute de Victor.
And no, and no, and no.
Oh.
Yes. I like how they're yelling about Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He was just trying to run down the floor, and Wemby panicked and threw the ball to somebody that wasn't looking for it at all.
His eyes were completely the other way. He's not an owl.
Yes. Here's the translation. Against Victor Wembanyama, he's going up for 2 points. Great defense by Victor. Oh, there will be 13 seconds left. Oh, he didn't see him. Stephon Castle, they have the ball. There's the translation. Followed by no, no, no. And no, and no, and no. Andy,
No!
Oh, no.
is it fair to say Wemby Sacre blew it?
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, Serbian guys in the house, too.
Listen to this. Wemby is his last 2 shots were 20-footers against Mitchell Robinson. This postseason on shots from 16 to 24 feet, mid-range jump shots in the entire playoffs, Wemby is 3 for 20, 15%. He's pretty good at a lot of things. He is not a good mid-range jump shooter right now. And now here's the other issue that the Spurs are running into. He's tired.
Yeah.
He's playing 39 a game, 39 minutes a game in this series.
Because it's like the non-Jokic minutes for some reason all of a sudden. They can't afford to not have him in there.
Because Luke Cornett is awful. I know he had a chase down block in the last series, but
he ain't the last series, man.
He is minus 14 in 18 minutes of game time in this series. He's not playable. And so they're just kind of stuck right now. And the other thing about it is, so there was a good breakdown on this. Touches per game, Wemby's up to 71. That's more than 13 more than he had in the regular season. He's up to 2.9 miles run per game, up from 2.1 in the regular season. Honestly, like, do you remember, God, was it the 2019 playoffs? And that was the one with the 3 overtime game. And like that was the playoff run where Jokic figured out, I have to be in a different version of shape.
Yeah.
I'm good, but I need to be elite if I'm going to carry my team and go this deep. And like that was when Jokic really transformed his focus on his endurance. And like Wemby's, what is he, 22, 23? He needs to. It's a part of the learning curve of all of this, and maybe this is the part of the postseason where we look at it and go, you don't get to skip steps, man. And LeBron got swept in his first finals, and Shaq got swept in his first finals, and Jason Kidd got swept in his first finals. Like sometimes all-time great players just they show up and they get their butts kicked, and maybe that's happening to Wemby right now.
But here's what's hard for Wemby. I don't feel like he's not in shape to handle because he's not heavy.
No.
But that's the issue. He needs to get thicker somehow.
Well, there's that part of it too, but like also
they are just bodying him, getting rough with him.
That's a lot of traveling though, man.
No, you're right, but I'm just telling you, I don't know how he balances one because you don't want to be Yao Ming. Yao Ming was a thick 7-footer, and how long did that work for his feet?
Broke.
It didn't.
Right.
By the way, can I transition this a little into the cup talk too?
Sacre bleu.
That was such a great call. I don't know what it is about angry Frenchmen that just makes me.
I know.
It just brings a smile to my face, makes me laugh. I don't even know what they're saying, like you're saying. And I took French in high school, but nobody was freaking out about a 7'4" guy screwing up a pass.
Where's the cafe?
Yeah, Le Bibliothèque or whatever. You talked about physical. You know what's so amazing? I don't know how we find ourselves in a place where both the Avs and Nuggets need the same thing at the same time. They need more physicality than Nuggets do to be able to do Oklahoma City would help out. Get a little physical with them, get physical with the T-Wolves. And you know what I watched the other night watching that game? How many times did Carolina, especially around its blue line, just throw a body into a Vegas offensive player trying to get into the zone and just blow them up? Barbashev wasn't feeling good towards the end. The Avs have got to bring an element of physicality to their postseason play, and they did against Minnesota. I don't know where it went against Vegas, but that game the other night. They were murdering each other. They were killing each other. I don't know how they were still skating for the second overtime. Guys looked so dang tired in that second overtime.
I mean,
it is,
Andy, to that very point, and I mean, you're talking hockey right there. Richard Jefferson in the fourth quarter on the broadcast the other night said, "This is too physical."
Yes, I heard that.
This is not good basketball that's being played right now. This is too much.
He said the refs let him get away with too much, right? He was saying this is not good for the game. It's not good for the players. I don't know, man. It's, they were getting after each other. Now, how do you balance it out, though? Do you think the refs should have maybe got a little more control of that, blown the whistle a little bit more? Or?
Yeah, you probably just get a little bit more whistle happy. The game was absurdly physical, but I thought the whistle was fine.
Sure.
I honestly
Is that where you just got to respect the game and not bludgeon each other?
Sorry to be a traitor to my community or anything like that. I thought Tony Brothers was fine the other night. Yeah. I know.
No.
I know.
I listen. Tony, what I've found, Tony's not the guy that drives me the most nuts, and I guess I'll upset everybody here. Tony's going to have a half, but then Tony will usually lay off the second half. Yeah. Is what I've found, at least watching him with the Nuggets.
They laid it off. They laid off it hard in the fourth quarter the other night.
Yeah, they'll let you have at it.
Allowed the Spurs to claw their way back into that game, and the Knicks were able to survive that thing. One other element of this series, really quickly, that I want to touch on here, Andy, and this is something I noticed. Mike Brown talks about spraying the ball. Okay, follow me on this for a second.
I do what now?
Spraying the ball. And what he wants when the Knicks offense is humming, it means the ball is going from inside the arc back outside the arc. And it's drive and kick basketball in order to be able to open things up. In fact, there was a possession about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter the other night. And on this possession, Andy, and they shot the ball with 0.2 of a second left on the shot clock. There were, in a 9-second sequence, 4 sprays, 5 passes, 8 dribbles by 4 different players. Think about that, okay? The ball goes Brunson to Shamet, to Bridges, to Brunson, to Anunoby, to Bridges. The ball hit the right corner 3 different times, and it was just, the ball was moving. And San Antonio, which is such an elite and fast defensive team, were scrambling on this possession. And as I watched it, all I could think was, I don't think the Nuggets can do this. Because everything that the Nuggets create is born out of two-man game. And especially with, and again, going back to our point about physicality, have we reached the apex of what two-man game is capable of? And can the Nuggets win basketball leaning into two-man game? Or is it going to be more incumbent on this team? And this gets back to a lot of my argument of why they need to keep Peyton Watson. is to have more ball handlers and creators in order to be able to have those kind of possessions to force defenses into chasing more often. Because, Andy, did you feel like Minnesota was chasing very often in that series? No.
Denver doesn't get people into scramble mode too much unless you have the proper spacing and they're able to really whip the ball around, and then it finds Aaron Gordon in the corner. That, it would be nice to at least be able to play that style of game, though, with your second unit.
Right.
Perfect world.
But is there a world where Jokic and Murray together can play that kind of basketball?
I think Jokic can play any style of basketball you ask him to.
Yeah.
But there's going to have to also be some shooters that you're worried about.
Yeah.
Which at times THJ was that. But you're not.
Best three-point shooting team ever, Andy.
I know,
right?
But do you see Christian Brown causing the kind of scramble that we're talking about? Because again, of all the guys, and I was trying to remember what team was Landry Shaman on when they faced the Nuggets in the playoffs? Because he's an
Phoenix.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Because that's a familiar face from once upon a time. Look, man, the guy's not exactly tearing the game up, but he can hit a three. And therefore, you've got to madly go after him if you can't just leave that guy wide open. Nuggets don't have enough of those dudes, especially with Aaron Gordon out.
Yeah. No, it's
you're never going to get scrambled like that.
You take Gordon off. You take Peyton Watson's corner three-point shooting ability. He's not a great, but hopefully improving above the break shooter. But when you take them off, yeah, it does. It subtracts a lot of that. But also just in general, like, is Christian Brown going to catch and then break a defender and then create something with that? At least not the unhealthy version of him that we saw in the postseason.
Well, that's again where we'd be asking, man, it'd be great if you could just nudge up your 3-point shooting a bit.
Yeah,
and sometimes he's hit him in the past, but
was Bruce that player?
Again, but
not really.
Was and can be.
Was one
Where
time.
are we at?
Exactly.
Where are we at with what we're going to be, not what we were?
Yeah.
Because, again, I think even some of us on the radio sometimes make our predictions based on what we remember them being, and we have to remember that's not what they are anymore, unfortunately.
Right. I mean, right now on this team, who has the ability to be able to break down a defender in front of them? Jamal Murray does. Aaron Gordon when healthy. Peyton Watson when healthy. And Joker. I think that's it.
Right.
You don't have enough creation offensively. And watching what the Knicks are doing, and the Knicks are, fortunate to have all their health right now. But ball movement is in this postseason with defenses playing as physical as they are, that's the lay of the land for how to beat these guys. And right now I'm watching a Denver team that, at least given the injuries that they had, they can't create something to make it look like that. And I think that's the only way that you can beat teams like Oklahoma City and San Antonio is you have to force them into scrambles. Right now, I don't think the Nuggets are up to that task. Not with the personnel they have in place.
Look, the Nuggets can get back to being what they were, but it's the timely shot making that's going away. I guess we can break down the way that you get it done and how you hit them and this, that, the other.
Certainly
but
did in that
at the end of the
series.
day, against Minnesota, really, I guess they had some timely shot making down the stretch to keep the streak going. But man, their timely shot making, their crunch time shot making when it mattered against Minnesota was non-existent. What about some timely shot making not to give up leads? I'm just saying that I think this team
give up a 19-point lead in game 2. Yeah,
right.
They didn't really have it. Didn't exactly have it
when you needed it.
Yeah,
you couldn't find it again.
Right.
You had nothing in the fourth quarter.
But I would also, getting back to my point on the Knicks, they weren't even creating good shots, let alone having open shots to be able to knock down. That offense was so friggin' stagnant and hard to watch. This Knicks team is fun. Game 3 coming up tonight. Absurd.
Are you mad rooting for a New York team?
No.
Are you rooting for a New York team? Maybe I shouldn't assume it, but I was rooting for the Knicks for a minute just because I didn't want San Antonio to just walk to this thing. And now that San Antonio's down 0-2, I might root for San Antonio. I'm not ready. I would like both the Cup and the Finals to go 7 games if we could.
I don't want to sweep.
I'm not ready for just baseball, but...
Well, yeah. Like, I don't want to sweep. I want this series to go long.
I'm not sure it's gonna, though.
That, I will tell you this, okay? Because I don't, you know me, Andy, I don't really care that much about teams and cities and all that kind of stuff. I tend to root for individuals and stories. And Karl Anthony Towns right now is like I'm rooting for him. Did you watch his post-game interview on Friday night? It was, it was emotional. And you could tell like what he's going through, and a guy that is, and I've been one of those people on my very own radio show, doubting his toughness, doubting his commitment. He has found his place in New York. He has found his place with that team. I think Mike Brown is getting excellent basketball out of him right now. He's so respectful of the game. He's so respectful of his opponent. He talked about what he's up against Wembanyama. But man, the one thing that he said in there, and one of the questions was like, how are you meeting this moment? And he just said, I'm leaning into my experience. And you can tell, like, older basketball players, man, they just like, those guys know the dark arts. And Wembanyama doesn't know all of it yet. And Towns is one of those guys in a long career. He's, double-digit years in the league now. Like, you learn every little trick along the way, and now he's deploying it, and he's been the best player in this series.
Well, I think we all talk about the climb. People don't always know what that means. For me, part of the climb is when it's not easy, where do you go?
Yeah.
And it's not easy for San Antonio right now.
No.
And they don't know how to fix it because their cheat code is not cheating right now.
No, they're making life tough on that guy right now. But I will also say this: I want the Spurs to win tonight because I want a long series.
Well, I'm with you.
If it's 3-0, it's over.
So
If it's 3-0,
especially with a young team, you really wonder about the mental fortitude about being able to come back and at least push it to the next game.
And the Spurs have shown they've had it all year long. So I think they show up tonight. And I don't want to see this series end early. But man, what the Knicks did going into San Antonio and beating those guys twice, the style in which they did it, and especially like hanging on for dear life in game 2. Yeah, I can admit, like, they're winning me over. They're good TV right now. Should be a fun one tonight. It's going to do a massive television number. You know that. I mean, the Knicks bandwagon it's alive and well everywhere you look, but
it's an ABC game tonight, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
That's the other thing. Does ABC have all these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Trying to make sure your favorite topic.
Get the right network.
I know what I'm tuning into.
Yes. Find the correct network. All right, Andy, sell me a Tom Brady product when we come back. Altitude Sports Radio. All right, Andy, I said earlier when we were talking the Brendan Sorsby ruling that I would really like it if all the Big 12 schools just said, F those guys, we're not playing them.
It's the Big 12!
Stuart Mandel tweeted, in light of the Brendan Sorsby decision, Georgia has instructed its coaches not to schedule Texas Tech in any sport.
Wow.
All right. There we
Any
go.
sport.
Lead
Okay.
lead the way. Here we
Guess
go,
what?
SEC.
And that's a payday.
Yep. Everybody else, get on that train. Okay. Follow the Georgia train. Don't play Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Screw those guys.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. You guys, there should be shame. There's not enough shame anymore. There should be shame involved in this story. You should be ashamed that you're defending this kid's transgressions and you're actively putting him out there. Garbage. All right, what's Tom Brady selling me?
Garbage. All right.
What do we got?
One of our loyal listeners, we see Danny all the time, alerted me to this.
Okay.
No idea this is going on.
I see a headline on Fox Business right now.
Yeah. No shock. Here's what's not shocking. It's a coconut water. Okay.
So Tom Brady's selling coconut
He's
water.
selling coconut water. And as anymore, you got to do your due diligence to
Sounds
make
about
sure.
right.
I'm telling you right now, all of this, when I say it all, you're going to wonder, is it really? There's no way. This is AI generated, right?
It is a premium line of organic coconut water that Tom Brady is selling us. So he's got
Vietnamese coconuts.
So he's got his own coconut water. According to Fox Business, Andy, with consumers conscious of seeking less processed, lower sugar beverages today, the market for coconut water continues to rise. GoPuff, the instant commerce leader, identified that customers were buying coconut water with sales surging at 115% year over year on its platform. So people from this GoPuff company, they love coconut water, and they want to partner up with Tom Brady. Tell me more about Tom Brady's coconut water, Andy.
Well, would you like to know what it's called? Spring, do you want to play the commercial and we can hear Tom tell us what it's called?
There's a commercial?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Because Julian Edelman apparently trolled him for this. Let's let Tom tell you the name of his new coconut water.
Are you launching another celebrity seltzer brand?
No, I'm launching a brand new coconut water. It's actually really good.
Oh, what's it called?
So we called coconut farmers in Vietnam for this one, which, when you care about ingredients, it's kind of a huge deal.
No, not who you called. What's it called?
You called me!
Okay, just tell me what it's called, Tom.
When you have a product this good, it doesn't matter what it's called, okay?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, you couldn't really hear it at the end. It's called Good Nut. And the slogan is
Good Nut?
It's a delicious mouthful. Good Nut.
Good Nut.
Coconut water.
Delicious mouthful.
It's a delicious mouthful.
Do they suggest you swallow?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Good night, everybody. We're going out. So yeah, it's
Good Nut.
There's 3 variations, it says, of it.
Yeah.
The classic, clean, hydrating coconut water.
Okay.
The original. A sparkling, a bubbly, refreshing alternative to standard water or seltzer.
Sure.
And then there's chocolate. The world's first certified organic chocolate coconut water, a dairy-free, 3 legendary ingredient drink inspired by Tom's personal favorite. Good Nut.
Is chocolate coconut water, is that like healthy Yoo-hoo?
I guess. You got to imagine that thing is not looking real. You know what I mean? That thing is not real.
I love Yoo-hoo.
Sure.
Do you remember when Russell Wilson he got in on the coconut sports drink fad? Do you remember the line from it? I Googled it because I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I Googled it. It was so the product was called Local Weather.
What?
It was
I don't remember this.
It was an NFT-powered nootropic boosted hydration drink.
Okay, was that the NFT thing you and I are trying to figure out what he was a part of?
It was partnered with this sports drink
with the pink Himalayan salt or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember because I always remember this sentence. This was from BevNet.com, which featured the press release of the product. The new venture hopes to capture a piece of the nearly $9 billion sports drink market, a space that has largely been consolidated around leading players PepsiCo and Coca-Cola, Pepsi with Gatorade, Coca-Cola with Body Armor and Powerade, each of which have sought to develop next-gen products under those banners that can play across various hydration occasions and functional need states.
Yeah.
So what is the hydration occasion that calls for Good Nut?
Well,
do you ever think that, by the way, like you pour yourself a nice refreshing glass of water and you're just like, time for a hydration occasion. Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. The hydration occasion. How can I forget about that? The hydration occasion for this, I don't know.
I'm in a functional need state for liquid to touch my lips.
I'm either in the kitchen asking what you need to drink, or I somehow am your waiter at Denny's, which anything's possible. What are you more apt to say to me?
Can I have a Good Nut?
Give me a Good Nut, or I'll have a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
Well, if I'm at Denny's, can I have a
you
Good
going
Nut
Moons over my hammy?
with my Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity and my Moons over my hammy? Speaking of Moons over my hammy.
Okay, all right. Can't wait to hear. Look at the grin on his face, Spring. Tell me.
Is Giannis going to be ordering that as a member of the Miami Heat coming up
we
soon?
We didn't get to that in the old high five.
We didn't get to it
saying
today.
He prefers to go to Miami.
Local Miami media is
they're all a buzz, huh?
Oh, very much so. They're sizzling up this story right now. Brian Windhorst saying the team to watch is Miami. I feel like the Heat are always really good at drumming up this kind of interest, and it seems as though they think they may be able to get this thing done and beat out Boston to be able to acquire the services of Giannis.
Speaking of, while we continue to volley hockey and basketball, did you see Dylan Larkin has a 3-team list?
Okay, who are on his list? Who is on his list?
I don't remember.
Spring, who's on the list?
I know. Here's the two.
Minnesota,
on the
Minnesota,
list.
Vegas. Oh, I want to say Florida is the third.
I think
team.
Florida was the other team. You're right, but I didn't care about that because they're Eastern Conference.
No Colorado, huh?
No Colorado. And a matter of fact, the article I read went 5 teams deep and still no Colorado. But Vegas and Minnesota occupy the list.
Okay, so how does that work if the player is still under contract? Is like what? Would he have to be granted permission to seek a trade, and then by that point, can you call the agent and say?
Well, I think.
Would he have any interest in?
He said with his list, here's the 3 teams you can talk to: Florida,
and
Minnesota,
it's not tampering,
and Vegas.
Okay,
and then that's his list of agreed upon teams.
So Dylan Larkin thinks he's too cool to be on the Avalanche.
Apparently,
no, you're dead to me, guy. I know.
I know. I got the French distress. I think the French. French guys. I think all of a sudden jump in.
I know.
That's a drop of the year candidate, isn't that?
I know. Put it on the list, Spring.
Feels good.
Yeah. Him and Sean Payton. They could both go back and forth with their no-no-nos.
I know.
Sacre bleu.
I know.
And then they blame the guy who wasn't looking. That's what I love the best.
The French guy.
Let's not forget they blamed Vassal?
Stefan Castle.
Castle.
The stupid American not looking for the ball.
How did you not see that coming while you ran up the court? Because I was running up the court, bro. Fast breaks and stuff.
Don't mind our bad French accents, people. We're back tomorrow.
Hey, the more we play that, the more we'll have to work on it.
I know, exactly.
Everybody okay down there?
we got a lot of things going on.
Butt guy.
We're not even in July.
Poor butt guy. Butt gal. Butt person.
Butt individual.
The individual with the butt.
That individual could use some good nut water.
I know.
Lots of good
Can
nut
I
water.
get you some good nut and a jogging routine?
Hey, coming up next, Eagles Wolves. Is this right? Game 7?
Yeah.
Game 7.
Game 7.
Big time.
Huge. All right.
Don't watch the NBA Finals tonight. Don't do that.
Eagles Wolves tonight. It's coming up next year on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. See ya.